Hey, 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 how are we all doing? Great to see you all. Welcome back to another stream. It's good to be back. Hope you're all well. Hope you all had a great weekend. Let me know if you did in the chat. Let me know what you got up to over the weekend. Let me know if you've done any trading. I would be keen to know what you fine people got up to. Do let me know. But yeah, let's kick it off, shall we? Let's kick it off. Let's load up Bitcoin. Let's see what we had over the weekend. And then we can look at, obviously, what we'll be moving into this week, potentially. Let me get that on there. Save, how we doing, mate? John, what's good? Discipline and Loki, yes. How are we all doing? Great to see you all. Thank you for joining. We are long on the 1 hour. We are, let me pull up this chart. Yeah, we have broken above key SR. Obviously, we had support come in to the left. Then we had rejection off it earlier last week. We have broke through now. So we are en route to potentially coming back and testing the previous all-time high, 109,588-ish. However, note that we are above the inner channel on the 1 hour. So momentum may stall a little bit while that catches up. And then potentially maybe we carry on. But yeah, we are still in the realm of a strong Bitcoin, aren't we? We're still in the realm of a strong Bitcoin, that is for sure. Let me just go and... let me go and repost that. There we go. Right. Yeah, so... I mean, where should we start off? Obviously, we'll start off with Bitcoin and then we'll move onwards from there. But yeah, over the weekend, let's mark it out. So we had, obviously, Friday there. And then Saturday, it was very dull, wasn't it? You know, very dull. We came in Saturday going sideways, sideways, sideways. Even Sunday, obviously, we did pump up a little bit throughout the day, about $1,000 or so. And then we dropped down last night. Came back towards... not actually at the weekend lows, but back towards obviously where prices settled all along here. And then we have just had, you know, the past few hours of bang, upwards we go. So yeah, the Bitcoin has definitely been getting its pump on early into the week. We have a look at the 5 minute. We can see quite clearly the velocity of the pump. It's been very strong, and obviously here you can see, obviously, this is the key SR zone. This is where we stalled, pulled back a little bit, and then bang, it was just this big impulse candle just blew us straight through, and then prices continued on. So I do know from looking earlier in the day that this zone where we are at the moment was a key liquidation cluster. Here, yeah. So... just below 107 is where we had this cluster, and obviously price just blew right through it. Now, to the upside, we obviously have liquidity to chew through up towards kind of 110, and then obviously higher. This is on the 2-week time frame. But I thought I'd cover that because, yeah, I looked at this morning, and I saw this liquidity cluster. And obviously, yeah, price blew straight through it on, it would have been this hourly candle. Bang. So, yeah, a few hours ago. Afternoon, Stonksy. How we doing, mate? Make sure you do drop a big like on the stream, wherever you're watching from. Make sure you get your likes in. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And, yeah, we will continue on. But, yeah, let me know in the chat... what are your expectations for this week? Let me know what your expectations are for this week. What do you think this week is going to entail? But we currently have, Bitcoin up 1.74%. We got Ethereum lagging it a little bit. It's minus 6.3% on ETH BTC today. And of course, we did have that big fall off last week. Now it is looking to push on by the looks of it, because you notice, zoom out to the 4 hour. We are back within support after dropping down. So we dropped down out of the range low. And then we have been tested it here, tested it here again, and bounce. You can see it even more clearly on the daily time frame. There we go. So we're back within this range. Now, where does that potentially take us? Let me just get rid of this. So that was from the previous one. So we've obviously got this area of interest here. We've got Stonksy long on the 1 hour, which is great. But we've got this area of interest where supply came in. So this might be a little bit of a tricky area for ETH, around the 2,570 mark, where supply came in. I mean, above that, then we are obviously looking locally anyway towards 2,630-ish before we maybe attempt the range high again. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we are currently seeing on ETH. Let's have a look at the lower time frames. Anything. We are long on the 5 minute with a double confirmation, which is good. Anything on the 6? 6 is the same, so that is good. That is something good to see for sure. Maybe we get some translation over into ETH, reclaim some of that loss back from today. I'm full of snot. Wow. Well, thank you for telling us that, Stonksy. Thank you for telling us that. That is great to know. Are you? Did you spend the weekend ill then, mate? Or what? Let us know. XRP. Long on Stonksy. Another one that's in the green background on the 1 hour. Yeah, so it seems like everything has had a decent push-up. I mean, the 1 hour's traded XRP really nicely recently. Obviously, we had the push down, the push up, the drop down, and then you're back into the green. So the 1 hour's been really nice. If we look at, say, the 1 day on XRP, as you can see, we're still within kind of this realm, aren't we, of like $2. And then you've got your range high coming in around like 260, 262-ish. And then obviously the extension of that where price sometimes blows into on a blowout move. So price is still capped within it. I mean, this has been going on. If you talk about ranges, I mean, how long is XRP within here now? Obviously, we've had pushes to the upside and downside too. But if we talk about ranges, I mean, this is one I would look at and be like, this thing has got to move at some point soon. 190 days inside this range now. So we're well into what? 7 months. Yeah, 7 months of inside this range on XRP. So, yeah, you would logically say this thing has got to blow at some point, either up or down. Because it's, I mean, 7 months. You know, we're over half a year of just ranging primarily between a 30% region, with obviously extensions above and below that sometimes, but primarily inside this 30% range here. Yeah, got some bug. I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Well, hopefully you shift it soon. But do make sure everyone drops a big like on the stream. If you're watching over on X, make sure you're following the Stonksy page. And make sure you hop over to the YouTube to drop a subscribe as well. It does slowly get us higher and higher on the sub count. So would appreciate that massively. Thank you very much. And drop us a like while you're there. So yeah, that's what we're looking at on XRP. Sol is a little bit interesting. Obviously, Sol, I need to go through Sol. And what's interesting is actually this is turning green on the daily. So the last time we got a daily green, we did pump quite ferociously, didn't we? From like 180-ish up to 250, 260. Now, that is something to keep an eye on. This, I think, is still in play eventually. So this is what we've covered a long while ago. I think that's still in play eventually. Now, let me just have a look across there. Yeah, I think scale down to the 4 hour. Get rid of some stuff. Right, let's get rid of this and get rid of this. So we got clear SR here, haven't we? Where Sol came in. Look at the interaction with the channel as well. Out into the extremity of the outer lower channel. And then we marked it bang on the close of the lower side of the inner channel, and then bang, rip up. So Stonksy absolutely nailed that. When you're looking at the channels, you should be looking at the channels. The channels are awesome. But we do have this piece of SR here. Now to the upside, I think definitely find some resistance in towards 160. Well, 163, 162-ish. To the downside is pretty interesting, isn't it? To the downside is pretty interesting. I think along here would make sense if we was to break down. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I think Sol is very easy to read. You know, you've got really key levels above and below it, and you can quite clearly see, you know, like this one that we was looking at last time when we broke below 150. It was pretty much just an easy straight line down to 140. And we've got that again across the board. Even with the recent price movement, you know, we get into here. This is probably going to be resistance, so we could either sell off or we break above here, and we're probably going towards 180 again. Here is support until broken through. If we break through there, we're probably going down towards like 123. I would imagine. I would imagine anyway. But yeah, until then, we've not got anything, and we are long on the 5 minute with that double confirmation. So it looks like maybe, you know, particularly looking at some of these alts that are long on the double confirmation as well, on the 5 and 6 minute, this and ETH is. It's interesting to, you know, are we going to see an afternoon where alts really get a nice pump? Doge, not really doing much. ADA. If you do want me to take a look at anything, let me know in the chat, but we'll just have a run through and see what everything has done over the weekend. But do make sure you keep on dropping them likes if you haven't already. Let's see what we're on. On 7 likes, I'm sure we can do better than that, can't we? Do make sure you take a second to scroll down and drop a like on the stream, please. It is massively appreciated. So do scroll down, drop a like, and yeah, we'll continue on. But yeah, it will boost the stream for sure. So please do that, guys. TRX is carrying on to the upside. I mean, this thing, that was a big, dirty 1 hour candle, that wasn't it, on Friday? I didn't notice that. That was a big old candle. But yeah, I mean, this thing pretty much just does what it wants, doesn't it, on its own. You can see here the last time we were looking at it, you know, we had support coming in here. We had the diagonal resistance, and then it was either break above or break below. We broke above, and since breaking, obviously, this diagonal and holding support here, we have been moving on up. Moving on up. Yeah, moving on up. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me. So, on TRX, I think this was... am I right in saying this was an all-time high? I think it was, weren't it? Yeah. So, yeah, so we've not actually got too much to look at on TRX because we obviously just have this, and then that's it. There's nothing real else. So, on TRX, we can obviously suggest, okay, daily interaction around there, daily closes around there, failure to break higher on the daily around there, wicks above. So definitely as we're coming into this 30 cents level on TRX, it looks a bit suspect. This, you know, could offer some resistance. We are long on the daily, which has got a nice return so far. What is that return on the daily so far? 15% on the daily, which is very nice on this Stonksy green background. But yeah, I mean, after that point, you know, we might have a little bit, you know, around here potentially, you know, maybe a bit of trouble around there, which isn't, you know, too far away, obviously, from this level. But then after that, I mean, we'd literally, there's just nothing, is there? There's just these 2 daily candles, and that's it. So TRX's route to an all-time high, or at least close to it, could be pretty simple when you're looking at it like this on the daily. Obviously, we scale down to the 1 hour and you see all sorts, don't you? Yeah, something worth keeping an eye on. Link is still holding this zone. So Link dropped below on Thursday, regained it into Friday and Saturday. And we're still holding here. So this is obviously one of the key zones on Link. Now you can see Stonksy's got resistance outlined just above 14, which I would say is very much bang on. So we need to break that. You can see it used it as support as well when it broke above and then dropped back below, and then resistance again on Saturday. So yeah, we definitely need to break above 14.08, and then that should open the door. Let me get rid of this. That should open the door then towards kind of 15.40-ish. But we are green on Stonksy on the background as well, so that could be a great indication. Stamos. Cheers, Dave. Jerry the Turtle. What is that? Cryptogenic. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Jerry the Turtle. What's the ticker? Is it this? That looks like a teddy bear. Yeah, that's no turtle. That looks like a teddy bear. If it's not on TradingView, mate, I won't be able to pull it up now. Because we don't look at low cap deck screener one. So if it's on TradingView, then I can definitely take a look, yeah. But I won't be moving over to deck screener. Sui's getting its pump on, up 3% today. So Sui's having a nice return. Oh, what have I done? Oh, what have I just done there? I don't know what I did. But yeah, Sui's having a nice return to the upside. I mean, if we go and have a look on Sui, we did obviously drop down. We are now looking to pump back up, and that 411 remains the key daily level to gain. We are still red on Stonksy on the 4 hour as well. So hopefully we see that shift soon. But definitely in terms of high time frame, this 411 level is the one to do. JYAI. Let's see. That's on MEXC. Wow. I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? You know, if you bought in anywhere around there, you are 500% up, 6x. So, yeah, I mean, not bad. Yeah, if you bought, you know, it looks like it consolidated for a good 2 weeks or so at this level, and then yeah, it's been getting its pump on. I mean, I don't know any sort of backstory or what the situation with this is, but I mean, if you're just taking a vague kind of look at it, you know, you can see that we've got some sort of supply wall coming in here. So I would say, yeah, break above kind of like 2.2. Yeah, definitely break above 2.2, and then yeah, like you'd be, you know, be looking towards the highs then. So that's what I would say on that. And obviously, yeah, quite imperative that it holds support and where demand's currently coming in. So definitely hold, you know, down like from 1.5 to 1.6 area. And then, yeah, needs to break above 2.2 for Jerry the Turtle. Some of these names are mad, aren't they? Let's have a look at Litecoin. What is Litecoin doing? So Litecoin, yeah, it seems to be a theme that we're getting these double confirmations on a lot of altcoins at the same time. What's that, up 6%? Oh, Hype. Yeah, Hype doing the business today. Up 6%, making its way back towards its all-time high as well. If we look at Hype on the daily, yeah, I mean, we're still very much intact, aren't we, in an uptrend? Still very much in an uptrend by the appearance of it. Still long on the daily on Stonksy. And I mean, yeah, you know, price exploration is the limit, isn't it? You know, we've got the upper channel coming in at 48. That would be a nice pump towards there. Tau retested support again. We covered this on Friday. So retesting support on Tau, held. So, you know, why not potentially move back towards the highs? Let's have a look at the... Oh, I didn't mean to do the 3 minute. Nothing on the 5 minute. And nothing on the 6 just yet. But we did have two very nice ones come in straight after each other. But yeah, do make sure you all drop a big like on the stream. Do subscribe. And of course, you can still get 20% off your first month of Stonksy. That is in the description. Do get yourself 20% off when you sign up. And take advantage. Yeah, just getting a quick drink and then we shall carry on. If there's anything specific you want me to look at, let me know in the chat. And if you have any questions about Stonksy, how it works, maybe, you know, anything about the latest updates or whatever, do let me know and I can look at them. We have Nigel. SPX 6900 is up an incredible 13,000% in a year. Yeah, do you know what? It pains me, that one. Someone that I follow was mentioning that when it was in like the 1 to 5 cent range, and yeah, I didn't buy any. So obviously not like down right at the bottom, but you know, pretty close. Like, yeah, I didn't buy. I wish I did. I would have got like nearly like pretty well anywhere between 100 and obviously 100x at 1 cent, more than 100x actually. It would have been 160x, wouldn't it? And then, you know, when you move towards 5 cents, about 30x, which still would have been great. But yeah, I didn't. I wish, but yeah, I didn't buy any when I was seeing it, which would have been nice. Radium up nearly 7% today. So now Radium, if you notice, came in and retested where we was looking at for price to be drawn into. Obviously, it dropped below on that crash down that we had on Bitcoin late last week, but quickly regained it, and then, yeah, held this zone as support and is now pushing on with that Stonksy green background after closing this red background. We had a little break-even one here, but very much pushing on now. And this downside one was absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, all good on Radium. If we look at the daily, we have still red on the daily from up here. And we still got, obviously, this. This would now be used as resistance, you'd imagine. So a trade into kind of like the 309, 308 region. You would imagine first time might be met with rejection. But if we can trade our way back in to there, then it reopens this range then. So that's what we're looking at on Radium. But for now, we are riding. Nice pump on the 1 hour, which is super business. ENA up 5%. Yeah, I mean, let's just take a quick scan. Things are up very nicely. I still need to rid some of this from the watch list. What's that? Oh, there we go. So I don't know if SMFC is in the chat or not, but that is one of the ones that he likes me to have a look at, which held very nicely on the retest last week and is up 11% today. So that's very nice. And Bitcoin looks like, yeah, it's continuing on. So we are continuing on Bitcoin on this pump. So yeah, if you want me to have a look at anything specific, let me know, or simply just drop your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on the market and all that good stuff. Right, what shall we look at next? I'll tell you what, we do have some key things coming up this week. I know we've got CPI and PPI. And I think there's something else. Let's have a look this week. Yeah, so we've got CPI on Wednesday. Obviously, we will be live for that. That should be fun. Do make sure you come and join for that. And then Thursday, we've got PPI. So 2 really good news. Well, I say really good. Good for volatility. We hope, anyway. We hope. Bitcoin volatility, bar that obviously drop down that we had. It's been quite dry, hasn't it, the past few weeks? But PPI on Thursday, and then we've got the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, which, apologies about that yawn, doesn't really bring anything too major to price volatility anyway. But I suppose we could hop over and have a look at memes, see how they're trading. We've got Doge very much kind of flat, haven't we, since Friday? Not much going on with Doge. Trump is look at how well Stonksy traded that down. Traded it up superbly, and then obviously mixed in with a few break-even ones or small losses, but the big drops on Trump, Stonksy caught perfectly, and we are back into the green. So could we see a reversal on that? SPX is going to new local highs, and I imagine that doesn't put it far away from, it doesn't put it very far away at all from all-time highs, does it? I mean, in terms of the daily, it's really making its way there, isn't it? And it's unbelievable to think, this was down at 25 to 30 cents for a couple days in March. Unbelievable. And, just the strength on the pump, like the strength on it, it's just bang, bang. And it's obviously this is now going kind of similar to what happened here, isn't it? Where it was just grinding up, and then you saw kind of the parabolic leg. This is kind of what we're getting here. It's just grinding up, and then now you can see it's kind of entering parabola. So yeah, massive drive up. I mean, where is that? Let's not say the bottom, because how often is it anyone catches? But you definitely had a full day or two to buy it there. So it's 350%, which is a 4.5x. So yeah, very nice indeed. Very, very nice. And it is continuing on, isn't it? It's just continuing to rip. Let's go have a look at Fartcoin, back at 111. So kind of regaining some of its strength a little bit after obviously dipping below $1. And of course, we've still got these zones outlined as levels of interest, zones of interest for the price to trade into. Pengu whiff showing similar. Overall, looks like memes are having a good day. Mother is down 4%, which has had a big old sell-off on it since breaking out of the triangle. Peanut looking interesting. Didn't quite get down towards where I was looking at it down here, did it? But as you can see, maybe we caught it a little bit from the previous price history. We are green on Stonksy on that as well. Brett, 5%. So it is looking quite juicy, isn't it? It is looking quite juicy. If there's anything you want me to cover, get it in the chat. Let's bang it in. Let's get the poll going as well. We will get the poll going now. Oh. There we go. So polls up. Go and drop your vote on the poll. And of course, the title of today's stream is Supply Crunch. So I want to know in the chat, do you think there's going to be a supply squeeze? Obviously, we've got MicroStrategy, I don't know if they've been announced that they have bought more or not. Yes, there we go, 49 minutes ago. Because Saylor posted his tracker yesterday, didn't he? Here. So posted his tracker, send more orange. And they acquired 1,045 Bitcoin for 110.2 million at 105,426. So you would imagine, I mean, they didn't buy a massive amount, did they? But, you know, obviously the average price was down here. So they bought somewhere over the weekend. And then they now spent nearly 41 billion on Bitcoin and at an average price of just over 70k now. 582,000 Bitcoin. This obviously came alongside Metaplanet. So for those of you that don't know, Metaplanet was announced that they're going to be raising 5.4 billion to buy Bitcoin. And what was the... So they're targeting 210,000 by 2027. And I think it was 100,000 by the end of 2026. I think was the case. So all this coming in alongside obviously GME buying. MicroStrategy just pretty much, they seem like they're just buying every single day, don't they? Or at least a few times a week. Do you think there's going to be a supply squeeze on Bitcoin? Let me know in the chat. What are your thoughts? Do you think it can be just driven solely by a few companies? Afternoon, Gary. How we doing, my favourite drummer? How are you, good sir? Great to see you. Hope you had a nice weekend. Thank you for joining. And that goes to anyone else. Please do make sure you drop the like on stream. Make sure you are subscribed. And of course, click the links in the description. If you haven't already, please do create your BLOFIN account. It is non-KYC. And you do get some great welcome benefits when you join BLOFIN. And of course, it's just with an email. So you can sign up very quickly. And we are still running 20% off Stonksy. Second link in the description. Or for you people watching over on X, you can just go to the bio on the Stonksy X account. And the link to the website is in there. Press start now. And it is this monthly one that you want. This monthly one. And you put code BOT20. So it's at the top of the website. BOT20 in at checkout on this monthly plan. And that does get you 20% off your first month. So make sure you do take advantage of that while we still run it anyway. Supply squeeze, yes, of course. I've set take profit one at 13 million. Yeah, take profit one at 13 million. Too bearish that save. Too bearish. You want to up it a bit? Up it a bit. I don't know if you was in the stream or not, but I asked Grok what the market cap of Bitcoin would be, and it was nearly 250 trillion. 250 trillion with a T is what the market cap of Bitcoin would be at a $13 million price tag. So for instance, let's just say what is the market cap of global real estate? Let's ask that, see if it knows. It should do. It is Grok after all. So the projected the global. So it's in a range of $350 to $650 trillion, supposedly. With residential real estate dominating at 518. So that is all the houses in the world. Now, Bitcoin, $13 million per Bitcoin. Bitcoin would reach half the market cap of all the houses in the world put together. But at such a market cap like that as well, I mean, that's probably 10 times the amount of what gold is now. Afternoon, Wizzo. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Thank you for joining. While Wiz is here, let's check on. I know NBIS had a great day, great time last week, didn't it? And it's having another great time. So that is up at $50 pre-market. So Wiz will be very happy. And I don't know exactly when did you first mention NBIS, Wiz? Was it in April or May time? But I mean, just back to last week, this time last week. If you would have bought in the mid-30s, that is a 40% gain now from the Wiz stock picks. Very nice, mate. So yeah, I thought we'd cover that. How's CoreWeave doing? Surely that is on a pullback now, surely. Where is it? There it is. No, it's not really. I mean, it's back up to 146 pre-market. Surely this is going to get a pullback at some point. I mean, look at it. You never know, do you? You just never know. But yeah, I'm guessing you're very happy with NBIS, mate. But yeah, Bitcoin. Could we see a pullback? Something that I'm looking at definitely when we're moving into open and stuff is where the upper of the inner channel is, and that is at 107.445. So could we see Bitcoin maybe drop down or consolidate a bit while the channel catches up? We could do, because we don't typically spend much time on the outer side of the channel. As you can see here, we did, and then we snapped back in straight away. So that is making me think maybe, even if we're going to continue higher, maybe we either pull back or just stay chopping around. So maybe something like this, or just stay chopping around, and then this if we're going to go higher. But yeah, definitely eyes on the channel for now. Scottish, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. RX. SPX 6900. Yeah, definitely, mate. We were looking at that earlier in the stream. My NBIS range was $20 to $27. Oof, nice. So that is safely at a 2x now, isn't it? That is safely at a 2x. Loving the trades the past couple of weeks for sure. Yeah, I mean, very, very good, isn't it? Very good. But yeah, do make sure you get your votes in on the poll. We are currently 12 votes, 50-50. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe too. Just going to grab a quick drink. Are you back from being away? Are you back from being away, Wiz? Or are you still over there? But yeah, let me know. We'll have a look to see what the Mag 7 is doing pre-market. Right. Wiz says Verve doing well too for those in Discord who caught it along with RX. Home tomorrow. What was going to have a look at? Yeah. So we've got Nvidia up a little bit pre-market. So it looks like, yeah, overall, we are maybe slightly up, aren't we? From where we closed Friday out on the SPX. We'll cover SPX on its own in a second, but yeah, we're a little bit up on Nvidia pre-market. I'd be surprised if everything wasn't up. I'm interested to see what Tesla's doing. Microsoft actually down a little bit. Amazon's up a little bit. Tesla is back down at 289. Interesting. Very interesting. And Google is up a little amount as well. Tesla is interesting because, yeah, it's coming back down towards them lows, isn't it, of last week. I mean, if we look at Tesla on the high time frame, that's unbelievable. It came down to $100 in late December/January, didn't it? Yeah, so Tesla's interesting. Now the S&P, if we go to the daily time frame, is right in here now, isn't it? Which is why is this key? Because in terms of, you know, a route to all-time high and a route to the price pushing on up, this is kind of the last line, I think, in my opinion anyway. I mean, there's nothing really much else to the upside apart from the all-time high itself. But, you know, especially in here where all the price action occurred on these daily candles to holding support and then being resistance. You can obviously see the difficulty in here. But yeah, this was, you know, if we definitely start closing above, then you could see an all-time high pretty quickly. Which is crazy, isn't it, considering where it was? I mean, you know, comfortably buying in and around here. I saw you nearly 20% up on the S&P alone, never mind individual stocks. BitD is doing very well. So BitD, yeah, I really like BitD. Shame didn't buy lower down it towards here when it was there. That's comfortably now at over 2x. Stocks doing very, very well, aren't they? Stocks are doing very, very well. We've got just under 25 minutes until we have US Open. So we've got a bit of time to pretty much look at whatever. I mean, this Bitcoin is potentially, going to do what we looked at. So this is the excellent use of the channels to try and gauge where we're going next, even when we're in a low time frame uptrend. You know, this could potentially work out at quite a nice scalp from being up here to maybe down back towards 107-ish, perhaps, maybe. We'll have to see what we get on open, but, you know, definitely we don't spend too much time in the outer bound of the channel, so Scottish says, do you ever trade Bitcoin pairings or stick? I don't normally tend to look at them, to be honest. I mean, you can do, like you could look at Sol Bitcoin and or ETH Bitcoin or whatever. But personally, I just like to look at the actual US, the USD. What is it saying in USD on the chart, and then go from there. Because the two should line, the two in theory should line up anyway. Not all the time, but no, if something's looking good on its USD pairing, then yeah. But why do you? Let me know, Scottish. Do you take? Is it something that you take heavily into account, or? Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Scottish says it's something that crypto life is starting to build bags of, just interest to see other people's perspective. Who's that? Crypto lifer? I mean, I suppose in that aspect, is that kind of like in the anticipation of alt season, I'm guessing? Everything to, altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. But then in that scenario, the USD, you would expect the USD pairing to rally, wouldn't you? So I suppose, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting perspective for sure. MicroStrategy is up nicely pre-market, back up to 382. So we are holding, as you can see, support here. I was maybe looking for it to come into here. It's not yet. Whether it does or not, I don't know. Coin is up a little bit pre-market as well. So looking, I mean, yeah, crypto / Bitcoin related stocks are doing very well, aren't they? They're doing very well. Is there a CME gap? Do you know what, Gongsy? I haven't looked on a Monday at a CME gap for ages, There is, mate. Yeah, well pointed out. There is. It's not something I've looked at for a while. But there is a CME gap, yes. So we are obviously closed the Friday there. And we have so far, obviously, we opened here. We opened here and then came down to a current low of there. So there is a CME gap. Now, bear in mind, we do have a difference in price on the CME against regular crypto exchanges, but on CME it is down to 105. Now CME currently has a premium of a couple of $100 by the looks of it, so we might have to go a little bit lower on actual crypto exchanges to fill this gap on the CME chart. So if we was going to fill it, I would say probably comfortably maybe about, maybe 105, 104, 800, maybe 700-ish. So as you can see, obviously this is 10 minutes delayed. So, but even if it's, say, lost $100 in them 10 minutes on the CME exchange, there's still about $500 premium on CME. So to get to 105.060 on CME, we're going to have to go a little bit lower, aren't we? By a couple of $100 on actual exchanges, you would think. So yeah, but yeah, well pointed out, mate. There's something I've not really looked at for a while. Anyone else? I mean, is there like an open one anywhere else? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's an open gap or what. Let's see. Let's go and have a look. No, oh yeah. So this one's still open down here in the low 90s. That's remains open, that gap. It looks like we might have had one here. But yeah, I think that's it now. So yeah, just this one. But yeah, we'd have to drop probably to about 104,700, maybe even a slight bit lower, maybe 104,500-ish. I would estimate, kind of anywhere in there might be enough to push the CME gap closed on the CME chart. But yeah, notice we're down a couple of $100 now. We're down about $150-ish from when we was mentioning about the band. So yeah, anticipation of alt season is his thinking. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I suppose it could go two ways, couldn't it? It could go very, very well, or it could go horrific. You just don't know. 91k summer low. I mean, the gap is, the gap is there, isn't it? The gap's there, and it took a very long time for that gap in the low 70s to close, didn't it? That took a long time, but eventually it did close. So I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibility at all, Gonksy. Yeah. I got 15 minutes to go. I'm just going to grab another quick drink. But yeah, thank you for reminding me about the CME, Gonksy, because it's not something I've looked at in a while, to be honest. I've definitely not looked at it the past few weeks. I don't know if anyone else has been checking it. So Scottish, obviously, I know you're a big SPX bull. What kind of levels are you looking at to take profit on SPX? What is your thinking behind it? I'd be interested to know. Right, let's grab a little bit more, and then we will carry on. We will spur on, shall we? There will be a new video going up today on the channel, so keep an eye out for that. Chainlink successfully facilitates Hong Kong and Australia CBDC stablecoin exchange. Let's see if there's any movement on Link from that news. That seems like pretty good news, to be fair, for Link. Nothing. That seems like a decent bit of news, actually, doesn't it? Just nothing. Just no movement on Link at all. See how many likes we're on. 25, 17 likes. Nice. Do make sure you bump up them likes a little bit if you can. Get them likes bumped up a bit. Anyone who's not liked, please go do it now. And of course, anyone not signed up to Stonksy, go and get your 20% off. Links in the description, or head to the website and bot 20 in at checkout on a monthly plan. 20% off your first month. Come and give it a go. But yeah, we are eagerly watching to see what happens to Bitcoin. If we're going to fall back inside the inner band, the inner channel. Tell you what, let's go and have a look at gold. What is gold doing? Now, there was a good long period where, I mean, trading gold with the 1 hour was just insane. I mean, you can see all along here, it was just catching the big moves. Then even through consolidation. Now, been obviously not too many indications while gold's been consolidating. We've had this nice one here. This one went a little bit against the grain, but yeah, that one is nice. Link. Ah, yeah. Do you know what, Gonksy? I forgot that you was on that, mate. I forgot that you're on Link. Yeah, I forgot that you're on it. My back hurts. Back really hurts. See what Dupe's doing, shall we? Not much. Fell down and then, yeah, just been consolidating, obviously, below key area. Mate, talk about getting married to a trader. I know, and you know what as well? You were so close. Like, it went up to like $17 something, didn't it? Like, you were so close to being able to cut it. You must have been eagerly close. But yeah, anything related to Bitcoin is doing well. Apart from GameStop, that didn't have the best reaction, did it, to them buying Bitcoin at all? But I mean, look at MetaPlanet, insane. Just onto new highs again. Go and have a look at the 5 minute. Yeah. Well, thing is, you've held it a lot lower, haven't you? You must have held it down to, what, about 12, was it? No, it went down to nearly 10, didn't it? Or was that not while you had it? We have got 7 minutes to go until US Open. So if you do want me to look at anything, let me know. Otherwise, we aren't getting too much movement. We will just eagerly await the US Open and see what we're dealing with after that. Right. Let's. What should we move on to next? What would you like me to see me cover? Yeah, like I mentioned before. Let me close out this poll. So I'm going to close out the poll with 65% of people thinking that we're going to go up. So we'll see how that comes in. Yeah, I mean, keep an eye out on any drop down to 107. That would put price back within the bands. We do have CPI coming on Wednesday and PPI on Thursday. So we'll most definitely be live for that as usual. Let's go and check out what we're currently doing in... $2.6% up so far for June. So we are currently positive for June, which would only put in the second positive June in the last 6 years, which is interesting. See, I'm rolling over a little bit. So that is now roughly about $200 down on Bitcoin since we mentioned about it dropping. So it could have been a nice little scalp, or it could be something, you know, maybe you would hold. But we have dropped about $200 since we utilized the Stonksy channels to say prices in the outer section of the upper channel. Likelihood is maybe that we trade back into the inner channel where price spends most of its time. Currently, it's looking like it's slowly doing that. We'll see if that speeds up into and after the US Open. Ondo and Pepe. Okay, let's have a look at Ondo. I remember there was a period of time when we were looking at Ondo and it was just like the most strong constantly. Let's see. So on the daily, I mean, we've got this region here, haven't we? Which has come in clutch again for the price. So we've got, obviously, key support down here around, you know, anywhere between about 71 up to 75. So that is key support. Again, you know, we tested that on Friday and Thursday and Friday. So that was a good test on Ondo. Nice pump off it so far. To the upside, originally I did have this drawn, but I don't think, I don't think I want to take that on the daily anymore. I mean, no, to be fair, you can see the interaction with it here. Yeah, I think we'll still take that 95 on the daily. I mean, yeah, this is what I'd be looking at. You know, definitely need to hold this zone to the downside, which it did again late last week. To the upside, up towards 95, looks reasonable. And then above that, Stonksy's got a key line drew around 113 and a half, which makes perfect sense. And then you have got potentially another little bit there around 118. So that's what I'd be looking at. Have we got any sort of... I think Stonksy was long on the 1 hour, wasn't it? Yeah, so we are into a 1 hour long to the upside. Anything on the 6? Yeah, the 6 has got a double confirmation, which is good. 5 has got a double. 5's got one as well, so they're good signs. Yeah, I anticipate... As long as we hold this to the downside, then it looks all right for Ondo for sure. That is the line in the sand, though, that area. You have to start looking lower then if it breaks through there, because it could get a bit nasty with how long it's held for. Oh, my back is hurting a lot. I'll take a look at Pepe Scottish right after US Open. We'll just leave this on here because we are pulling back into the Open, so let's see what happens. Would you buy some Tesla now? I mean, it really depends, doesn't it? The technicals, we can cover Tesla after the US Open. The technicals suggest maybe we're going to drop lower. But I suppose it depends on what type of investor you are. If you're a long-term kind of DCA guy, then maybe, with the drop it's had recently, maybe you would see that as value. If you're more like looking for areas on the chart that make sense TA wise, then we'll have a look. I think potentially it could drop lower. The problem is you don't know what's going to come out next, do you? So obviously, we can look at the technicals and stuff, but all that last week between Elon and Trump. Oh. We are open on the US session. Yeah, all that last week between Elon and Trump caused it to drop. I think it was upwards to about 17% on the day, wasn't it? At the low, something like that. You just don't know what's going to come around the corner next, do you? So you could look at it either way. There could be something good to come out, or there could be something that causes another kind of like spontaneous sell-off. So it's a really tricky one. We'll let this play out for a minute on the US Open on Bitcoin. Let's see what we get in the first 5 minutes or so. Then we'll look at Pepe. We'll look at Tesla again. Hi, Nick. How we doing? Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Also XRP. Yeah, we can look at XRP as well. I mean, XRP is really straightforward, to be honest. Yeah, we'll look at XRP. We'll look at Pepe, Tesla, XRP, and anything else you guys want. Right, let's carry on. Just get one more drink. Okay, right. So, pumping it a little bit back up on Bitcoin. We did drop a little bit lower. Now, Pepe is up 2% today. Now, on Pepe, we was looking at a few levels. I can't remember what day this was last week, but yeah. I mean, these were the levels we were looking at on Pepe, I think, low time frame. So, into this down here for a reversal. And then, obviously, key interaction up here where supply came in. So, as you can see, price was pretty much trading sideways. We did get a drop here, but sideways. And then this is the key area where, bang, we got supply coming to the market. And that's where the descent started. So, definitely interaction at 12.56 is something I'd be looking at, Scottish. We are currently in a green background on Stonksy, which is nice. Anything? Have we got confirmation on the 5 or 6? Yeah, we have a confirmation on the 6, which is good as well. But yeah, I'd be looking at that low time frame. Now, high time frame is pretty straightforward because... Let me just get rid of that. Yeah, high time frame. This area is the one to break. So, why I say pretty straightforward is because if we gain acceptance above this grey box, then it's pretty much one straight line, I would imagine, towards 2, 0, 2. because there's nothing really holding it back. You know, we've just got 2 daily candles there and that's it. So it should be, in theory anyway. Obviously, you know, we don't know what could happen. You know, something could maybe cause Bitcoin to tank the market or whatever. But in theory, acceptance above that grey box could, and, you know, really the next resistance would be there. Should lead to a 26% pump before either a sell-off from there or pump up from there. You know, who knows? So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. But yeah, I mean, to the downside, this would be the area of a retest that should hold. I mean, this should, you would imagine, you know, if Pepe is going to continue on an uptrend on the high time frame, you know, that started down here, then any interaction with this zone down here should hold. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, someone asked about Tesla, didn't they? So we'll go and have a look at Tesla now. Now, we obviously, this area was looking like, I mean, you would have thought it would have been primed for an SR test and hold, which it didn't. You know, we had obviously consolidation and resistance, flipped to support, and then it sank through and then regained it, but it sank through again. So we have this area here where price obviously found demand down here, and it was support for, you know, all this period of time, about nearly 2 weeks. Along here, that's at 271. But then who's to say that we can't just retrace it all and maybe come for a, you know, a full test of 222? Could happen, couldn't it? I mean, we're already down a decent chunk. You know, we're already down 22% from the local high. So yeah, something to keep an eye on. You definitely want, I mean, ideally, obviously, you know, if you're Tesla bull, this would hold 271, but you definitely want 222 to hold, because if we zoom out to the 1 day, you know, below there, it kind of it does get a bit hairy, doesn't it? I mean, you got kind of this. Where would we even be looking? It's a difficult with stocks, in it, because of all these gaps and stuff they create. It's a bit annoying, really. I mean, probably somewhere around like 170-ish, 169. Obviously, it looks like a value area where price was getting bought up. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. I mean, yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen, because, you know, could external factors kind of crush the price and maybe crush it through some key technical levels, potentially. XRP, yeah, right. We'll have a look at XRP now too. Let's have a look at XRP. Let's go and check what Bitcoin's doing. So yeah, we are that. Yeah, so we're now a couple of $100 down, and notice we are back in the inner channel there. Now the inner channel, the inner channel. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. So that is now about 300. Oh, just over. We're about $400, $500 down from where we were talking about price dropping back down into here pre-market. So for anyone who took that, I don't know, let me know in the chat. Did anyone actually take that when we were discussing that? Did anyone actually take that move? But that is based purely on the Stonksy channel, so that is just how good they are. That has turned out to be a great scalp move already. So there's like a little live, and we are plummeting down now. So there's a live representation on a trade that I'd pretty much give you based on the channels alone. And we are down about $600 now on the price of Bitcoin from there. So as a scalp move, that's coming in at around 0.5% already. If we get down towards 107, well, below 107-ish, but, you know, an SR test maybe of this area, that would be about 1% if we get there. But yeah, currently stands 0.5% on the Bitcoin price, which is a nice scalp. Now, someone asked for XRP. So I mean, really, XRP, the main thing that matters is zooming out to the daily, because we have spent, and I mentioned this at the start of the stream, we looked at XRP. So we've spent 190 days, about 7 months, over half a year, trading the majority of the time. So here's your range low, around $2. Your range high is about 262-ish, depending on where you draw it. I've got it at 262, which makes sense to me. You've then got an extension of the range high where price, as you can see, several times has pushed into it and then dropped back below for the daily close still. Also, obviously, we've had pushes above and below during that time. But primarily, obviously, apart from, you know, this break above, this little short break above, this 1 day break above, and then this period down here, for the majority of 7 months, price has traded within a 30% range. So, in theory, you know, it should be coiling up for a break to the upside or downside at some point. Where that comes in is obviously up for discussion. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it anyway. So hope that helps. Just go and check the Bitcoin price. But yeah, I mean, to answer your low time frame XRP one, I think Stonksy was green on it. So yeah. Gongsy says, apt on the 1 day. If you had a crystal ball, would you say it's due for a pump or is it over for apt? I'll have a look next, mate. We'll definitely have a look at that. Right. Let's have a look at apt. Just get a little drink again there. Oh, what's happened to... Hang on. Just trying to fix my camera, I think. Hang on. Oh, yeah, right. Let me just whack little virtual background back on. There we go. What's this? Anyway. Right. Apt. Yeah, right, apt. Let me just need to do something. Won't be a second, guys. Hang on. Right. Right, there we go. Apologies on that delay. Right. Let's apps. I know it's looks like it's on here somewhere, but we'll just re-add it. Right. So you're saying with a crystal ball, if I had to crystal ball it, would I say it's due for a pump or is it dead? The thing is, with stuff like this, I mean, where is it market cap wise? So it's wow. So it's still 3 billion market cap, and it is still 34. I wouldn't say it's dead. No, I mean, it's a still huge market cap, isn't it? What I would say is, obviously, this area here is like a must hold, isn't it? You've obviously got the extremity down here. You know, this is the all-time low, looks like. But I mean, this area is where it needs to hold. Now, it's just holding, and it's holding it well. High time frame support. You know, back to obviously here when it first started coming here in late 2022, then, you know, did what it did, and then retested it in 2023 late, retested it in 2024, retested it obviously most recently quite a few times, but it's holding it. So I wouldn't say it's dead. What I would say is that it probably requires wider altcoin strength, is what I would say. So how is apps going to benefit in the market? I would say, I wouldn't say it was dead. And I would say it's due for a pump, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it got a monster pump, didn't it? In, you know, from August to the end of the year last year, it did a 3x, which is not, you know, it's not, can't complain with that, can you? It's not bad. But I would say, by the looks of it, you know, it's holding at higher time frame support. I think it probably just needs overall market conditions to pump. And I think, you know, Stonksy's got it pretty much nailed on where it's got resistance through here at 628. So, you know, needs to claim that, and then up it goes. But yeah, I would say, you know, holding here is ideal. If for whatever instance it came to the lows, you would want to see it swing fail the lows and definitely hold this. If it breaks below 306, I think it's quite worrying for the price. If it, say, liquidated it quickly and then closed back above for the daily and was holding it on the daily, not the end of the world, but ideally it holds this grey box, yeah. But I wouldn't say it's over for it. No. Not unless, yeah, things start getting bad and it starts going to price discovery to the downside. Bitcoin is heading on to the downside, so yeah. We are nicely up on that scalp short that we discussed. 28 watching. Click the like, says Emmy. Yes, Emmy. Definitely. Make sure you are clicking the likes. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching over on X as well, make sure first that you're following the X page, the Stonksy X page, if you've come from another feed. And then make sure you hop over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. But yeah, for those of you that haven't, please do sign up to BLOFIN if you're looking to trade anywhere. It is superb for spot, futures, holding funds on there, all under a non-KYC account. And of course, we are still running 20% off your first month of Stonksy. You can get that on the Stonksy website. It's the monthly plan here that you want. Bot 20 in the checkout box for 20% off. Do take advantage of that. But yeah, we're dropping on Bitcoin on US Open. So that has been the direction so far. We'll have a little look at that. Right. Discipline says, I think Bitcoin drops around 106,800 to 106,500, then move back up. Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think if we look at the 1 hour, or you could see this on the 4 hour, you can see the SR test here, can't you? This box is very key. You've got obviously Stonksy coming in here with key support drew at 106,794, but then you can see just kind of all in this zone. We had support, drop below resistance. So yeah, this is definitely key on any retest here. Now, if we do drop below, that's obviously not ideal. But obviously, one thing that we looked at before, thanks to Gongsty for reminding me, is the CME gap. Now, on the CME exchange, the gap goes down to 105,060. Now, CME is a couple of $100 at a premium than on crypto exchanges. So if we was going to close that gap this week or whenever, we'd probably have to come down to around 104.7, 104.5 maybe to close that gap to give that premium a chance to get down to 105k. So that's one thing to also take into account is the CME gap. Now, obviously, that wouldn't be ideal because we'd then get back below key resistance. So this may be like a fake out in the end, or then obviously we'd just retrace the whole pump up as well. Right. Yeah, we are dropping down pretty aggressively, aren't we? So that is, for those of you that wasn't here, or if you wasn't here at the start of the stream, we was using these Stonksy channels to look at a pullback on Bitcoin. So we was looking at it, and price spends the majority of its time in the inner channel, as you can see here. Now, the last time we exited the inner channel was on Thursday, and obviously we dropped down, entered the outer zone to the bottom, and then quickly recovered into the inner channel. So we was looking at it, and obviously price was around 107.8, and we was in the outer channel, and obviously we were looking at the SR test and all that good stuff. So currently, from where we're discussing a scalp short, we are around about 0.775-ish to the downside from that scalp short. So if you entered, great stuff. If you didn't, you can see the benefits live on stream of the Stonksy channels alongside obviously the rest of the features, but we specifically utilized the channel to get that. So let's name that. So there we go. So hopefully you took that. If you didn't, make sure you take advantage of this 20% off we're showing on Stonksy, because that could potentially, depend on what size you trade with, that could pay for your whole month subscription in that one scalp short there. And we are, so we're coming in. Here we go. We're coming in for an SR test now of this region. So we want this to hold if Bitcoin is bullish. If Bitcoin is bullish, we want this to hold. Let's see. .9%. So there you go. There's nearly your 1%. There's nearly your 1% done in about an hour. I'm short from 107.7. Yes, Loki. You're always on top, you mate, aren't you? You're always on top. You're always really good with the movement in the market. Let's see what the rest of the market is doing. So we've got ETH plummeting back down, XRP plummeting, but so everything will be, yeah. I mean, any sort of gains that things were showing, a lot or all of them will have been wiped off. So you can see pretty much half this Sol move has been wiped out on that downside move on Bitcoin. Same for Doge. You can see it all along here. Some of them are obviously a lot more strong than others. So Tau, still, the bulk of this upside move is well intact, alongside others like Hype. Let's go and take a look to see what we're doing on the Mag 7. What's going on? So we've got Nvidia up 1.45%, Apple 0.5%, Meta, Microsoft down a little bit. Yes, not too much. Tesla's recovering some of them losses. So it opened at 285. So it's recovering some of them losses. So is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is back up a little bit as well. Maybe scale into the 1 minute for this. So we have hit that SR zone, haven't we? We've hit that SR zone, and it's looking like, low time frame wise anyway, Bitcoin is bouncing. Right, what are we on to now? So the S&P, yeah, I mean, this is quite key for the S&P. This will be quite a key week. In terms of weekly inflection points, with how it closed last week, I mean, on the weekly, this doesn't look as key as it does on the daily. On the daily, it's obviously a very key zone. On the weekly, you can see it, but it's not as obvious. But definitely on the daily, this is key. So it should be quite a key week for the S&P. Any push, obviously, towards new highs should give Bitcoin some strength, you would imagine. But yeah, with it trading right in this zone around this big, juicy round number and into daily SR, obviously, for upside, it needs to clear it. And Bitcoin is looking like that SR test of that zone we've been looking at and we was looking at on stream has held so far and looks like potentially maybe thumbs up for a bounce back up. Obviously came in, tested it on the hourly, closed with a good test, and yeah, it's bouncing back up. So that was a nice drop down from where we was looking for a scalp short. So it could be the fact that we're getting a potential bullish arrow on this hour as well. Really nice, obviously, upside movement since the green background opened. So it's looking quite good as far as it goes for Bitcoin now. Do make sure that you are liked and subscribed. Do make sure if you're watching on X, you hop over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. And of course, make sure you click the BLOFIN link, first link in the description, or I'll put it in the chat now. Sign up to your non-KYC account today and get yourself some great welcome bonuses. And of course, get that 20% off Stonksy while we're still running it for your first month. Code BOT20 at checkout on the monthly plan. You'll find the link, second link in the description, or if you're watching over on X, stonksy.io, or link is in the bio. Can you have a look at MEXC? I'd imagine, I can have a look, yeah. I'd imagine it will be, I think I've got that loaded up. No, I haven't. Hang on. Oh. I think it'll just be a glitch, won't it? I think this oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a glitch. I mean, yeah, it actually went to zero. It actually went to zero. I don't know how this will have affected. Surely it won't have affected actual positions, you wouldn't imagine, on MEXC. But yeah, it looks like Bitcoin actually went to zero. So it actually did go to zero on MEXC. There you go. Shouldn't have affected positions, or if they did, they should have fully reimbursed users on that. But yeah, you do normally see that sometimes on MEXC and some other exchanges, these wild wicks. But yeah, thank you for joining, everyone. Hope you had a great day. And do make sure you join me tomorrow and the rest of the week. But until then, ciao for now. Bye-bye.